Okay, good.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey guys.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you guys doing?
We are well. We are
Super
blessed.
fantastic.
How are you?
I'm wonderful. I am doing great, amazing, delightful. And I'm
Good.
so excited that you guys are here and you're ready to go tonight.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm ready to roll, rock and roll with tonight's show. Let me just take care of a few things. I'm going to bring myself on over here on YouTube. There we are. So, we are both on YouTube and on Facebook Live, and we're going to take this Facebook Live and I'm going to transfer it over to YouTube when we're done tonight. So you guys can share the link, and tell everybody about this wonderful story and amazing time we're going to have tonight. So welcome to the Aisha I Am Woman show, where needed conversations happen. I am your host, Aisha, and I'm so delighted and excited to have you. We aim to empower, equip, and enlighten women and children on the effects of childhood trauma on adult behavior. That's what we like to do. We like to talk about helping people to overcome whatever they have to overcome to get to a better place, an enlightened place, an empowered place, an equipped place. And tonight I have some very special guests, Mr. Jason Borns and Mrs. Borns to be, Mrs. Marilyn Shane right now. And so thankful that you guys are here to join us tonight to talk about your story. Tell us about yourself. Tell us about who you are. And I'm going to go ahead and share the video, share the with everybody, and send people out to come on in to join us and be a part of tonight's show. So you guys have the
Okay.
link and you can do that as well. So we can invite people to come. Let me just, but you know what? Whether we can or not, we're going to keep rolling.
Yes.
We're going to
So
keep rolling.
we're going to
Because
keep
I'm not
rolling.
going away from this screen. I'm not going away from this screen. So everyone else has to watch.
We are right here and we are live. Now, I'm so delighted to have you guys once again to join me. And we've been trying to do this for a while.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've been trying to get you guys, and we were totally different time zones, and we couldn't quite get you on. We couldn't coordinate our time zones. And what are you guys, 11, 12 hours ahead when you are
9, right?
Yeah.
nine?
9.
Okay, 9
Mm-hmm.
hours different when you are at home. And tell us about where you are and where you are from originally and where you are now living and how things are going. Miss Marilyn, let's start with you.
Okay.
Perfect.
Sounds good. Well, I am from Ann Arbor, Michigan, so I'm a northerner. I have a home in Houston since 1999,
Mm-hmm.
and but I've lived overseas in Abu Dhabi for, gosh, the last 8 years. But I'm an educator. I've been in education since '99, and I'm a school leader over there in the UAE. But here in Houston, I was a principal before I left to go overseas.
Okay.
So yeah, that's a little bit about myself.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. And thank you for meeting this guy. Let me tell you, I've known Jason for many years, from high
Yeah.
school and grade school. I mean, I'm telling you, I've been knowing him since, seventh grade, I
7th
think.
grade. 6th,
Yeah,
7th
seventh
grade.
grade. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they're around. And now we grown, old, and,
Right.
doing great things and seasoned. We're more seasoned now. So, Jason, tell us more about you. Introduce yourself to our audience, please.
Well, hello, new listeners to the old listeners. I'm a 903 guy, East Texas,
903.
between Marshall and Tyler is where I'm
Mm-hmm.
from. Have been teaching since 2001 and have been living in the United Arab Emirates since 2015. And whilst there, uh, lost what I thought was love, found what I realized is true love, and I'm here presently with this lady here,
All right. All right. So
Miss
we're so
Marilyn.
Miss Marilyn, thank you guys. I'm telling you, I'm excited about your story. It sounds like you guys were in the UAE, United Emirates, about the same time,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
So you guys arrived around almost the same time.
I think you
So
beat me by what, 2, 3,
No,
maybe?
no, I arrived in 2014.
Oh, one.
see,
One ahead. One ahead.
1 year ahead, and you guys arrived there, but you were wandering around on your own paths.
On our own
So
path.
tell us, yeah, you were doing your own thing, doing on your own path,
Yes.
following your way, right? Trying to do things your way, and
Right,
finding
right.
out,
You
what
are
did you
on the
find out?
nail on the head.
Yes.
Nail on the head.
So,
Listen, I'm telling you, Jason and I lived in the same small city for years. We
and never,
knew all the same people, but never knew each other.
never crossed.
wow.
Crazy. You know, that's how when God wants you to meet and come across who you're supposed to, he will make it's in his timing and he'll make that happen. And so,
And Alain, I would say, is about the size of Hallsville,
Oh,
and we
wow. Okay.
never crossed paths. And that's a small town. And if we did cross paths, because we're in different mindsets, in different time zones,
Yeah.
we wouldn't have seen each other.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Both in education still,
yeah,
Both of
you
us.
know.
in education.
Her as a school leader and me of boys. Now I'm teaching both sexes, but it started that I was just teaching grade 3 boys
Okay.
in a small town. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in the town, just to expound on that a little bit, um, are the schools segregated by gender, or how does that work? Like,
I'll defer to you, babe.
how does education work there?
You know, well, we worked for government schools when we first moved there. Now we
Okay.
work for private schools. But back
Okay.
then when we first moved, yes, we worked in government schools and they were segregated by gender.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so there were very few schools that had them to get boys and girls together up until 5th grade, but only very few schools. Most of them are separated by gender. And because that's pretty much how the society is to a certain point, you
If I
know.
may,
Yes.
me and her would, if we, let's just imagine we're together, the
Mhm.
women would sit while I go pay the light bill or do anything dealing with the government. So there were certain sectors where there's a men's section and a lady section.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was segregated through their whole community of existence.
Yeah, I was a
Okay.
deputy principal at a girls' school, 6th through 12th grade girls' school, and down the road was the boys' school, 6th through 12th grade. The
Mhm.
primary school was together, but once 6th grade came, then they split the kids up. But the private schools, like what we're in now, though they do have where the kids are primarily mixed until 5th or 6th grade, and then
Okay.
they segregate them again. Yeah.
Right.
Marilyn, tell me, did that affect how you interacted or knew how to interact with the gentleman, with the man? Seeing the segregation of how it is there, how did that affect you in the difference how it is in the United States and over there? What is the difference?
Well, you know, because there's so many people from all over the world that live there, about
Mhm.
80% of the people that live over there come from other places.
Okay.
So they don't enact that piece of the segregation of men and women on the people that like myself and Jason. So when we're over there, it's just like here. You can kick it and be, you know, and go out to dinner and, you know,
Okay.
interact with the other opposite sex.
It's only when you go into certain government buildings
Yeah.
that it's where then you go from not imposing my freedom on their culture.
Yeah.
Oh,
Does that make sense?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
But otherwise, life is all like it is here. I mean, there's a large African American population there, and we get together for community. You know, like to just like make it like home. And
Yeah.
so we do a lot together as a Black community.
We in the UAE, it's similar to the United States. We just don't have those freedoms. So me being there, I guess you will confirm, I guess.
Mhm.
Sometimes freedom really isn't the best thing for you.
Okay.
I have the freedom to exist in the UAE, but I don't have the freedom to do what I want in the UAE.
Right.
Here in America, we are so comfortable with our freedoms to say what we want. I have freedom of speech, I have freedom of expression. Those things are not given to everyone there. The social media is tailored for what needs to be known. And I have to understand, I have to say that I feel more comfortable in that environment where
Mhm.
I'm free to make sure I know how to act.
Okay. No
So
sound.
people are saying it's no sound and it's frozen.
Okay. I don't know. I can't call it all
Thank you,
that. Yeah.
Valencia.
Yes, sir. Let's see what is going on here.
I see you, Malcolm. Yo.
Thank you for joining. Let us see what's going on. Because I have this on my phone. We're moving just just fine here.
Hmm.
So I can't
So we're
hardly.
good?
Let me see. I don't. It
Maybe
does
someone
not
can tell
seem
us.
that. Let me look. I'm looking on my page, my personal page, to see if it's
Oh,
posted.
Miss Cross says we're good. Thank
Valencia
you.
said she can hear us now.
Okay, she can hear us now. Good. Thank you.
So basically,
We caught up.
with all of our freedoms, to get back on track, with all of our freedoms, you know, I now have the freedom to be quiet and walk away and not express my feelings
Yeah.
is what I choose,
Yeah.
as opposed to just leaning on those freedoms and expressing just because I can.
Okay. So, and you find that as Marilyn, as being able to communicate, how did it help with your communication? Because sometimes we sisters, we can be away in the way we communicate with our men. And so I want to know if you could share some wisdom and some insight with us, sister, here. How has your experience there helped you to communicate well with your brother? You know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, honestly, when God brings your person into your life, he shows you what you may not have done in previous relationships and what you need to do in this one because it's been ordained by him. I've learned to listen more because listening is a part of communication that sometimes we forget about. We just want to get out what we want to say without really listening. And the 2.5 years that I've been with Jason, I've learned how to listen and to be very intentional about how I respond. You know, and I think part of it has to do, I've matured over there. Living overseas, I have matured because, like you said, you have to think about what you're saying before you just say something, you know, or within the society, you really do have to think about what you're doing and how you move. And I do have to say that I do that. I bring that kind of approach into our home, into our relationship. I really do take the time to be intentional about, if I say this way, how will it be received and where could it go? You know, so we communicate really well because one thing I just told Jason this the other day, he listens, and so I try to match that as
the
well.
energy.
Yeah.
And so you were saying that, okay, Jason, you've been married before, okay, and Marilyn, you have not.
No.
So tell me about your experiences as both of you guys share your previous marriage, or Jason, your previous marriage, and you coming into a marriage at this season of your life. So tell us about it.
For me, a pastor, a very renowned female pastor, was just speaking maybe several months ago, and it was the dichotomy between attachment and assignment. So what I've learned now is that all the relationships that were the precursor to this one, those were attachments. And when we try to be with someone we're attached to, then we start adding anchors to it. You owe me. I've been here with you for so long. I'm attached to you now. I'm not going anywhere. I'm attached to you. I have a child with you. We're together forever. And then you end up discourse, fighting. But when it's your assignment and it's supposed to be for you, then things that happen come organically. Your heart, your liver, your lungs, your organs, they're assigned to work in your body without question. When you're up, it works. When you go to sleep, it's at rest. That's what this relationship has been like breathing. Yes, discourse comes. Yes, we disagree. But what anybody who have ever dated me before would know the wrath of my lashing out, that negative childhood trauma, the things that I would see in relationships before me. But now I have the discernment to realize that she's greater than my ego. So when I get offended by what she says, I don't have to react right then. I can wait and then bring it to her later. And there may be discourse, but it's never to the detriment or to the disrespect of the other party. There's nothing I want to do or say to make her or hone her better for my heart that's going to hurt her. Because I'm not, I can't, this is my friend. This is me.
Because it's
This
an
is my
extension of
real.
you.
Yeah.
She's an
Grace,
extension of you.
forgiveness.
Thereby,
Yeah. Grace
an
and
extension of
forgiveness.
you. Yes, yes, yes. So I'm telling you, I want to hear your story, Ms. Marilyn. Tell us about how you came into meeting this gentleman. And at your age, you were just sharing with me that you were of a certain age, and we are close in age, and this is your first marriage.
Yeah.
So, man, let me tell you something. You can give women hope all around the world with this here. Come on, tell us about it.
You know, I have been in some serious relationships, ones that I thought I would lead to marriage. And, you know, being young and immature, things that were toxic, I thought were natural or normal, and I accepted. And by the grace of God, you know, he kind of showed me like this isn't part of my plan.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna move this person out. But you know, I wasn't ready for what Jason brought to the table. I believe in manifestation, writing down what it is that you want,
Yeah.
and then being okay if you don't have 100% of what you wrote down, because no one's perfect. I'm not
Right.
100% of anything perfect, and neither is Jason. But writing down and telling God, being bold with what you say you
Yeah.
want. And so that's what I did. I was in a serious, or I was dating someone, and they were still here in the States. It was that long distance type relationship. What I have come to find out is, as I've gotten older and matured, because I'm getting close to 50, I fell in love at 46, which is crazy. I thought I would have been married by now, children,
Yeah.
everything.
Right. Right.
But God ushered out people that were not healthy for me and showed me that I didn't have to accept anything less than his best. And
Right.
so once I accepted that and just was content with, okay, meeting someone will make me happier, but I have to live a life where I'm happy.
Yeah.
That's my
Yeah.
philosophy.
Yes.
So I built a life where I was happy and I was traveling or doing everything that I wanted to do with my life. And then God blessed me with a person that makes me happier. Because if you never find anyone, you still got to be happy, right?
Yes.
But
That's what was the conversations in our dating life,
Yeah.
was that, because anything that was previous, I was either trying to hold on, they were trying to hold on to me as an attachment. But with her, it wasn't that. It was simply just being,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
open.
Right.
yeah,
Right. Now we talk about, now of course on this show we talk about the effects of childhood trauma on adult behavior, and we want to bring in those things because we have to focus, and we have to. I speak from that from a very personal perspective, because my own childhood trauma, and I went into a marriage where I was not healed nor whole,
Same
and I
thing.
had not come to a place of healthiness within my emotional status. It was not a very healthy place, and I expect my ex to heal me. I thought marriage was
Yeah.
going to be the answer. I thought he was going to be my savior. When I came to Jesus, I didn't bring all of me. I
yeah,
left the part at back, I left that off the altar, the love part off of the altar. And so
mm,
what I had to come to realize is that I needed to be healthy, whole, made complete
yes.
before I
Correct.
can be into
Correct.
any relationship. And so tell us about anything you would like to share as far as my childhood trauma, with the, loss of my mother and older sister
Mm,
was horrible. It was horrible. And went into a marriage with that weight still on me.
yeah,
And so tell us something about your past where you know that you may have needed to be healed in order to be able to find love.
yeah.
I'll
Mm-hmm.
let you go through it.
Okay. Well, I know for me, I was blessed to have both my parents growing up,
Mm-hmm.
and they were together for 45 years. And, a lot of people are like, wow, that's, unheard of these days, where you have people that are married 45, 50 years. But within that 45 years, growing up, I did see a lot of
Right.
discord. I saw a lot of, arguing and
Mm-hmm.
a lot of negativity within it. Now they were best friends, but like any relationship, no, this is not perfect. And I
Right.
remember I might have been about 12, and I remember saying, if this is what marriage is, I'm not getting
Right.
married, because they were just arguing all the time, whether it was about finances, whether it was very heated. Like I don't know. And being
Mm-hmm.
young, seeing that over the course of those childhood years where they were at each other all the time, I just remember saying, I don't think it's for me. And so I
Yes.
carried that all the way through middle school, high school, all the way up through my adulthood. I think that's probably why I have a sister that's twice divorced. I have another sister that's married, but I I'm just going to get married at 49. You know, I was the one that kind of held out. And I really think that that time period impacted me so much because it was so negative. Wonderful people, but they just went through a lot.
Yeah.
And as kids, you hold on to those things during those formative years. So I was like, I'm not getting married. And I think, you know, even when I got to my 30s and I thought, okay, I am ready to get married, you know how you hold on to things and you don't realize that
Right.
you are.
Right.
So the trust, you know, and I just said I would, if I can do battle by myself, kind of thing. And so I think that's probably why it took me so long. But God wanted to make sure that I was ready because He wasn't going to mess up Jason's new beginnings in his life with someone that's coming in who doesn't know what she wants. And it took me a while to get to that point. So, you know, for me, my childhood traumas were really just watching my parents love both of them to death, going at each other.
Yeah.
And it was so unhealthy for a while that I just didn't want to do it. But so many people tell me, you give us hope that, you know, even in your later, you know,
later years,
season
later life, it can happen. It can happen. I mean, that is such an encouragement. You know, I used to say that I was going to have a car with the size enough, just big enough for me and my shopping bags. I was not getting married. I was not having children. So none of that was for me. So I understand that watching things when you grow up, they can be damaging to you and how you perceive life. So Jason, share with us a little bit about your coming into a whole place.
So coming into a new place for me, my childhood was different because I was raised early with my grandparents, as I said before. But going into pockets of relationships where I was with my dad and my stepmother, that's where I also saw another strong woman being able to attach herself and be motherly to someone who was not biologically hers. So when I met Lean, I immediately thought of all those women that played roles in my life, and she's a culmination of all that.
Yes.
And early on in our relationship, if it wasn't for those nuances where I would see, oh man, my stepmother does that. God, my mom thinks that way. Oh wow, she's like my grandmother. And it became a familial type situation.
Right.
I did not see Lean until I was supposed to. A good friend of mine who was a female just looked at me just on a whim after a good night of just socializing. She was like, "What do you think of Lean?" And I looked back and she smiled, and that it was no type of attraction that you would think, or most men say, "Oh man, I seen Charlotte, she was bad." It was none of that. It was just pure nice energy, love,
nice energy, beautiful,
which led me to then ask her to come, and she's been coming into my life ever since. One date has turned into where we are now. So now that I'm in a different place, I take that childhood trauma, recognize it, and push it to the side and say, God, this is my assignment because this is what I asked for, and you gave me exceedingly and abundantly above anything I could ask for.
Yes.
I don't have to ask for anything. I tell my guy friends all the time, bro, I don't have those problems. But I also tell them, you don't have to be with that. Obviously, that person is not for you. And we keep attaching ourselves and making us force these relationships with the person that God has for you will give it to you just like you breathe.
Yeah. That's really good. I'm telling you, what's beautiful about what he said was that your smile is what brought him in. Now, I always tell people I'm a big fan of Kevin Samuels. Some people like him, some people don't. I'm a huge fan of him.
Good brother Samuels was on point with some things and not. But really, you have to know what you are and what your standards are and have integrity to live by those. And if you lose by that, meaning someone doesn't reciprocate what you desire, that means that person's not for you. Let them go. We get stuck on attachment, and it just happens psychologically.
Yes. And I love that you brought a smile to his face. Your smile is what brought him in. The warmth, if we can carry that, you know, carrying the warmth and beauty of who you are as a woman, not the physical outer appearance, the shape and all that. That wasn't what won him in. It was something radiating from within you. And so that is something that can be shared with other people. And I love it. You, go ahead. I
For
love
sure.
it. Mm-hmm.
No, absolutely. And it's funny because I didn't know Jason, but all of my friends were like, everybody knows Jason because of just how genuinely of a good person he is.
Mm-hmm.
So I was so I was just thankful that God put us in the right place with mutual friends. And so I knew he was a good guy because my friends they all knew him, and I trust them. So
Yeah.
even just being open to letting the people around you who you trust introduce you to people, knowing your story, introducing you to people that may be your person.
Our paths maybe had crossed legit 2 to 3 times prior to the moment I began pursuing her.
Okay.
And it's just a testament to when God is ready, or when you're ready and God says, look, to
Mm.
jump, to
Mm-hmm.
go forward. Because I
Right.
had every excuse to be like, man, I'm done with this. I'm about to be in these streets. I'm going to be a nice guy. I'll call you tomorrow. But when I met Lean, now fidelity isn't out of obligation to a ring, it's out of obligation to our friendship.
Yeah.
This is my best friend, this is my buddy.
Yeah. Right. Right.
And to do anything to hurt her will hurt me because I've seen her cry and I don't like it.
Right. 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 You care about her
Yeah.
that much. You feel
Yeah.
her pain.
Yeah.
And that's a
We're
beautiful
really
thing.
connected. This is my
Yes.
rib. Definitely.
Yes. Yes. So tell me, three practical things that you did to get in the place that you are in today. Just three things that you think that got you here.
I would definitely say staying open was one thing that even when I was down, like I'm not gonna date anymore, I'm not doing,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna, I'm okay by
Yeah.
myself, kind of thing. But I just told myself, nope, you're gonna stay open, even if something doesn't work out. Be open and willing to meet new people, and date, and just leave your heart open, trusting that God is gonna, bring that right person into you. So I would say staying open and being conscious about that, like to yourself saying stay open, because a lot of times we will close ourselves up. Journaling was another thing for me.
Okay.
I'm big on doing brain dumps, getting your thoughts and ideas and feelings out on
I
paper.
love it.
And, even within those brain dumps, like I said earlier, expressing exactly what it is that you want. What is it that you want? Not just in relationships, but in life.
Right.
You have to see yourself, in that job, see yourself in that place, see yourself in that relationship, a healthy relationship where you're going to be valued the way you should be.
Yes.
So, so I journaled a lot, and just talked to God a lot through that. And then the last is just using discernment, that's an old person's word, but honestly,
You gotta see it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
but a lot of times, like I mentioned earlier, just toxic behaviors, and some of us will look the other way because we just want to be in a relationship. So we know that some things are not healthy for us, but it's like, you know what? I'm this age. I don't know if anything's going to happen for me.
Yeah.
I have this person that's interested, even though I know it might not be healthy for me. I'm just going to stick with
Yeah.
it. No, having like when your intuition or your gut says this isn't a good thing for you, listening to that and
Yeah.
moving according to because that's the Holy Spirit telling you this is not what I have for you.
Yeah.
So one thing I can say is just being just listening to yourself and using discernment and knowing that you're worth everything and you don't have to settle for less. So those are the three things: journaling, discernment, were the big things for me.
Yes. Staying open.
And staying
Yes.
open, yes, and staying
Yes.
open.
Yeah.
Good,
Just
man.
yes, y'all got it. I mean, I love it. Jason, you have three things, three
I do.
practical things that you did.
First of
And
all,
I'm jotting down now. So y'all, if I look away, y'all don't be moved. I'm jotting down.
mine may sound like a piggyback off of what I said last time, but forgiveness.
Okay.
Forgiveness is where you
Yes.
have to start. For me to be to where I am now, and not forgiveness of other people, but forgiveness of myself. I had to forgive myself for the mistakes that I made in my previous situations,
Mm-hmm.
because my pre to lean is just X's.
Yeah.
So it's not just one person.
Mm-hmm.
My divorce it doesn't hold me, it doesn't anchor me. That's just an ex that didn't work out.
Right.
But I had to forgive myself to forgive them, that I wish all exes
Mm-hmm.
success and feel
Right.
the fulfillment that I feel now because I'm whole, which
Mm-hmm.
took me to do my second thing after forgiveness was a decreased self-image.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Dig that. I had to realize that it's
Ego.
not about me.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
ego is not worth hurting her or anyone,
Mm-hmm.
because I'll apologize even when I'm right,
Mm. Right. Right.
just
Right.
so the other person doesn't. That's just me. And a lot of people can say it's fake, but I have not default in any of that. Any of my friends will tell you that I'm not perfect,
Yes.
you know, but again, I can forgive myself when I'm not perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So I can admit that, man, I let my ego win in that one. So, and I don't like that. That's ugly. And then last, choosing peace.
How about that?
Choosing peace.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Lean and I had a course conversation about something that was not impactful. But if I didn't have those three things in my mind and understanding that this is just a disagreement on this subject,
Mm-hmm.
that leads to ego saying, she talking to me like that. Then I can find words and point to those words. I was very good at
Mm-hmm.
that. It's not me anymore. And the reason why I was doing it and unaware is because of my heightened
Yes.
self-image.
Right. Removing ego. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Period.
That's beautiful. Yes. Choosing anything that costs you a piece of is way too expensive.
If
Anything.
iron sharpens
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
iron between two men who are friends, how can that not be for husband and wife?
Absolutely.
I,
Absolutely.
she's been honing me since the moment we met. And every time I resisted, there was a bit of discourse.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right.
But every time I followed through, I understood this is my helpmate.
Right. Right. So we are going to, as we wind on down, we are. I love your both of you guys gave awesome 3 points. Is to stay open. And as a woman, sometimes that's hard when you experience heartbreak and you've experienced disappointment.
Yeah.
But give it give it another try. Have faith that sometimes this is going to work out. Oh, how about that? It's
Yeah.
going to work
Yeah.
out. It could be the right one for me. Staying open, journaling, and brain dumping. I love that you said that. Let me tell you, been there, done that. Used to always write down the things that I wanted. I believed and saw it whenever I
Mm-hmm.
did write them down.
Sow that
I saw them.
seed.
Yeah.
Yeah, sow the seed, read it, write the vision, make it plain. That's
Yeah.
what scripture says. That's what the Bible says to do that. And, your discernment, listening to the Holy Spirit, the Spirit of God that's within us.
Yeah.
What
So
did your
we
mom
do
say
that.
about discernment?
Oh, use discernment in all your dealings. That was one of my mom's, God rest her soul, one of her sayings was, no matter what it is in life, always use discernment in your dealings. And so
Yeah.
I hear that every time, whether it's a decision you're making for your job or relationship, your children, whatever it is, you need to use discernment. And so every time I just think about my mother, and every time I'm about to have an interaction with Jason, I'm very intentional.
Yeah.
That's the one of the big things I would tell people is just be very intentional with what you say and what you do, how you move, because everything impacts the other person. You're no longer solo anymore.
Right.
And
So
when we say intentionality, that you're not hurting the
yeah,
person with what you're saying.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
People think, oh, I gotta be ginger. You're so that is change your mindset. You desire to treat
Yeah.
that other person with care
Yeah.
and to be gentle because that is you.
Right.
yeah,
Right. You don't want to hurt yourself. Love your wife like you love, like Christ loved
yes,
the church.
Absolutely.
Love. And we're supposed to love God like we love ourselves. And if we don't love ourselves, how can you extend that love to one another person?
Most
The first commandment is that you
people
love others as you love yourself.
yeah.
Yeah.
most people are enemies of people who are like
Mm.
themselves.
Mm.
I find that so many times. Oh, I can't stand that person. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, those
That's
same
right.
characteristics you don't like, you exhibit.
Yeah. They're just like you. So we are going to, and I want to just revisit your points again, Jason. Forgiveness. I love that. Forgiveness. Forgive myself. Oh goodness, I got to forgive me, and I got to extend that forgiveness to the other person. But forgive myself for the mistakes I made, the poor decisions that I made.
Yeah.
That was on me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yes, forgiveness. Decrease self-image. That's removing our ego. Take ego out of it. Ego is a big deal. It really is. And it really messes up a lot of stuff. It really
It
does.
does.
So yes, and then choosing peace. Thank God for that choice to make peace a priority.
Yeah.
Making peace a priority. So thank you guys so much. And I also want to know if you're able, if you're open to even talking to other people, and if you are, you're open to sharing your story with other people. How can people get in contact with you? How can they do that? If you have an email address you want to share, or anything that people may want to hear your story and want to talk more with you.
Sure. Well, I know for my email address, I don't know, maybe we can put it here on the but it's just M Shane, MSHANE
Okay.
at Gmail, or excuse me, mshane3723
Okay.
at
At
Gmail. So,
3723.
yeah,
Okay. So
at
I'll
Gmail.
put that in the chat.
And I'm gonna use the old school Yahoo. mrjjborins@yahoo.com. But with us being overseas, it would have to be a platform such as this, and coordinating a time so that we can share our thoughts, man. Everybody has a testimony, in any
Yes.
platform I have to share mine. I'm down to help
Yes.
somebody else.
Yes. Now, do you guys ever think that you will move back to the United States, or the UAE has you
That's
back?
been the back and forth. Jaylene coming to a town near you, maybe, inshallah.
Okay. Okay.
But I can tell you, you can find love at any age.
Mhm.
While we were building our love story, my stepmother, who I love dearly, found the love of her life at her
Wow.
high school reunion,
Wow.
and have been married for a year now, going on 2.
Wow.
And it just wowed me that at any stage in your life, when what God puts together,
Yes.
it can happen for you,
Mhm.
no matter the age. But I'm not going to share her age, but she's north of 65. So
What a beautiful thing.
why not you? That's what
Yeah.
Lean used to tell me all the
Mhm.
time. Because I would be like, how am I here? Why you? And she's like, why not you?
How about that?
That's
Why
right.
not? Why not?
Why am I not worthy of her?
Right.
Is what
See,
she's telling me. It's dope.
you guys both are beautiful, and I love your story. I love
Thank
that you're
you.
more open to share, and I'm glad that we were able to do this.
Yeah.
Didn't have to do a pre-recording this time. We could be live and be able to share your
Yeah. No
story together.
pre-recording. We live.
Yes,
We're ready
yes.
to go.
Last time I had him, he was talking about love and finding it, and now he has found love. So how
Yes.
beautiful is that? So
Yeah,
thank
we
you
were
guys.
just boyfriend and girlfriend then. We hadn't really, yeah, that was it.
Yeah, that was
Well,
before
listen,
an announcement.
yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just want to say this work that you all are doing is awesome, because so many people that we don't know what people are carrying,
Yes.
and what has happened in our
Mm-hmm.
childhoods. It impacts how we walk and interact,
What
on a
we
daily
eat.
basis. Everything. Yes, what we eat,
Absolutely.
what we drink,
Absolutely. Very
everything.
true.
Yes, so this
Very
work
true.
that you are doing and giving, this platform for young girls and women,
Mm-hmm.
it is critical. Men are important as well, but it is
Yes.
critical for people to hear these different stories and to give inspiration and hope, and to know that people are not alone going through things.
Thank you.
Everybody has something that we're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to commend you
Good
on
job
this.
on this program.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you. Thank
commend
you so
you.
much.
Yeah.
And it's an honor and a pleasure to have you guys. You guys have any closing thoughts, anything you want to leave the audience with
I
before
defer to you.
Well, I just want to say to everyone watching, especially our young ladies and women, is just know your worth and you don't have to accept anything less than God's best. He has a plan for each and every one of us, and we just have to be willing to wait on his timing. I am a testament of that, because I thought I was going to be 30 with kids, by 2 or 3 kids by 30. And here I am finding love at 46, getting married at 49. So God's plan. So just know your worth, tell him what you want, be bold in your prayers, and don't be afraid to tell God about the promises that he has in his word, because he's promised us a lot. We just don't know it. So, I just want to encourage everyone to stay lifted and stay encouraged. It's coming.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
For me, I would just say, remember the serenity prayer when times get tough. And don't allow anybody to hold you to what they perceive you as being or what they remembered you were. You don't have to live by those type of anchors, and just stay true to what you want to be. I want to be yoked up with someone. I desire to be married. And a friend, I am created to have a rib. That's what I want. So I move like that. So there are things and decisions that I don't have to make because I'm just not doing that.
Right. See,
that's it.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much for your time.
Yes, thank you for joining once again. This is the Aisha I Am Woman show, where needed conversations happen. I am your host, Aisha, and we will thank you guys for coming, Ms. Marilyn and Mr. Jason. Mr. and Mrs. Borens, the next time we see you guys,
Gaylene, 27, Peace.
So thank you guys once again. Y'all have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
You too.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.